Starting off, discuss proposed solar energy ordinance. Planning Development Director Chad Jacobs will address.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Good, thank you.
So what you have before you is a rough draft ordinance of a solar ordinance for the city of Griffin. As kind of indicated in the agenda material, both, I believe, the city and I think also the county have been contacted by a couple of solar companies that are very interested in doing solar farms throughout our municipalities. We've been contacted not only for a potential solar farm in the city, but also just solar panels in general, businesses in various different places, kind of in commercial areas. The old Varsity Trophy Shop, that's converted into another business, and they looking to do solar panels on the top of that business. So currently, right now, the code is silent with respect to both issues. So did a little bit of research, pulled some ordinances from around the state. Michelle did a great job with this and found a code from Putnam County, and this is really what we borrowed from primarily. So went in, changed everything from Putnam County to City of Griffin, but then we made some additional items that were important to us to kind of back up a little bit. When we were first contacted by the one company, and one of the concerns that I had was anything that's in proximity to the new airport. That's been an issue that's been ongoing, obviously, for about 25 years, and I don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize this new airport. So, intentionally took it slow and kind of took our time with it and added some language into this to protect against any negative impacts with respect to that. We also had a meeting yesterday morning with Bob Stapleton and Mr. Peters and Mr. Moll, and also one of the engineers from Croy, who's assisting with the new airport. Ran the language by them. They're okay with it. They offered up some minor suggestions, some things that we'll get back and make some little small tweaks to. So kind of getting into the body of the ordinance a little bit. So you have, and I apologize, we haven't sectioned this out yet. So I'm trying to decide still if this should go into the UDC portion, which is the zoning, or the actual code of ordinances. So that's a conversation I'm going to have with Mr. Drew, and we'll get that sorted out. So there's no code sections right now. Obviously, you have your purpose and then definitions, as you would in any zoning ordinance. It moves down to applicability. After that, what I would like to point out to you would be there's a section there that's referred to as placement by zoning district. So that's something that I wanted to point out to y'all and see if you have any input with respect to that. So essentially what I've done in here is make these anything where they're roof mounted, accessory, we're allowing them permitted as a matter of right. However, with respect to anything where we're getting into a bigger scale, doing those as a special use, so that way we can review those on a case-by-case basis, take them all through to you guys. Anything that's within the commercial areas of the city, we've prohibited large-scale solar farms for obvious reasons. Everything else is essentially going through as a special use. So I just wanted to kind of see if that's kind of something you guys were comfortable with, if we need to kind of go in and tweak that a little bit. Outside of that, if you move forward into the next section, there's solar energy requirements and subpart G. This is where we changed some of the verbiage that was in the Putnam County Code and actually added some verbiage with respect to solar panel placement, really as it relates to glare. And this is kind of our concern with respect to the airport, making sure that we're protecting any issues, anything that would be a negative impact to the airport. So that's where we added this language in. And you also see there too, there's a subpart 2G, which would be 1. All solar farms to be located within a 1 mile radius of a current or proposed airport shall submit a refraction hazard study along with all applicable FAA forms. Folks that we met with the airport authority, they were good with that. They actually kind of recommended a small change to change from the refraction hazard study to what they refer to as a solar glare analysis. And this is all stuff that I've been learning. So solar's not really kind of my gig, but I've been learning a lot lately. So I think that this is a good starting point. And I think it's really important for us to have something on the books, because last couple of years, I know even when I was at the county, we would get a number of phone calls of folks indicating about solar, and they don't have anything on the books. They're looking to do something similar. And I think it's just important for us to get some language down. That way we can kind of protect ourselves and make sure if we're going to get one, that we get one the right way.
Any questions from board members?
I see in here where there's the definitions of, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the solar energy system,
Mhm.
you've got small, medium, and large scale.
Yes, ma'am.
I guess in just verbiage, is when we're saying solar energy system, is that what we're referring to as a solar farm?
Correct.
Okay, and then, so to my understanding, it has to at least be 1750 to qualify for this to apply to it, or how does that work?
So you got your, there's obviously the breakdown there in the, where it's tied to the specific zoning districts.
Right,
And really, for essentially all of them, they're gonna go before you guys, as a special use. So I really didn't want to,
so the size refers to those that, well, so when we're saying roof mounted or building integrated, is there language in here that addresses like how much of
Yes.
the roof could be covered?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, where is
Yes.
that language?
So if you go into, there's information out on the solar energy system requirements. And then there's also,
Give me a page, oh, okay, I'm there.
yes, ma'am, and again, that's where I apologize, I don't have it, there's not a section that's tied to this.
Yeah,
So you'll see there, even like on C, the installation and construction of a roof mount solar energy system, so that's where you're gonna have that verbiage in.
yeah, that's what I was looking, I see like the setbacks and those things, but I guess I'm trying to understand, like, in reading this, okay, it's like a minimum setback distance of 50 feet from all property boundaries shall be required. How does that apply to a roof?
So that won't, so you're gonna have that's gonna be tied more to like the panels that you'd see in your typical farm. If you move up, that's gonna be in section E, so if you head back up to like where you have, yes ma'am, in C, that's where it's gonna talk about it being roof mounted, and really it's talking more about in terms of like visibility of them on the roof, where it's trying to protect against, where they're essentially become a visual nuisance.
Well, and that's what because I don't see anywhere in C where there's any numerical parameter.
If you look at the definitions, Commissioner Flowers, it's in there, you have solar energy system, small scale, means that it occupies 1,750 square feet of surface area or less, and then solar energy system, medium scale is more than 1,750, but less than 40,000 square feet of surface area.
No, I got that, and that's where I started at, but so So technically, you could put, as long with this, somebody could put one solar panel on their roof, or they could put as many as they could fit on the surface of the roof.
Subject to the load,
Okay,
that
That's my question
the
is-
structure can handle the load.
so me and you could be neighbors, and I could be like, oh, let's do solar, and I've got two little panels that's not really a nuisance to anybody.
Correct.
And then you could decide, no, I'm gonna cover my whole roof as much as I'm able to. And with the way the document is, there's no way to distinguish, like, that's not a nuisance as long as it's not over the roof line and it's actually load bearing on the structure.
Correct.
Okay, that's my question.
Gotcha.
So Gabriel, if you could, or
Last Friday on this, and I really haven't had a chance to do the research I want to do, but back in, I think, 2015, MEAG provided the city with a model for a solar tariff and a solar program. There was some federal law at the time, as I recall, that requires us to buy back some of the excess solar that's generated. Isn't that right, Jennifer? And we have some applications here in Griffin already. I think they're all just on residences though, aren't they?
There's Liberty.
Liberty has, okay,
Building started.
okay. But I need to coordinate that with what Chad's proposing. We really have never had an ordinance regulating solar, and I don't know to what extent we can really do so today. I'll have to make sure we're not preempted somehow.
And that's why I just wanted to run it by you guys to see, is this all right? You want to go? You know,
I like.
the phone calls aren't going to stop, you know. I don't like kind of sending something in front of you guys without having some type of regs that we were kind of measuring by.
So I'll tell you why I asked the question. I like the idea, so I don't have any issue with the thing. But I don't know about my timeline, but at some point, we had before us discussion about people being upset about people parking their personal RVs in their yard. So I can see very easily how somebody's neighbor is going to be upset because legally, they are allowed to put as much solar panels as they want. But then somebody's still gonna come in here and say, we don't like the way it makes our neighborhood look, because we had a whole discussion about parking your own vehicle in your yard. So I just want us to be clear about that and how that looks when somebody comes in here and says, it's ugly, I don't like it, but it's not on my house. And we have to stand on, well, that's what we allow them to do.
Absolutely. What we do is go back and kind of do a little bit more research specifically as it relates to the roof mounted ones and see if we can find some more verbiage on that.
Okay, that works for me.
And that's my question, on like gabled houses, will they be allowed to put them on the front facade of the house, or they have to do on the back facade, or what's?
That's what we'll dive into that and give you guys something a little bit tighter with respect to that. So like my primary concern was the farm. So it was, but yeah, we'll dive into that.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Moving into presentation of the electric department's new outage management system, OMS, IVR, and customer app. Electric Director Jennifer Freeman will address. And Kim,
Kim is gonna do this, this is her baby, so she's gonna actually do the presentation.
thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kim.
I'm exceptionally nervous and very, very, very excited. And I wanted to thank y'all for the opportunity to both have this system to present and to present it to you. Did they bring a phone out?
Yes, there.
For your
Okay.
telephone.
What I wanted to show you today is, we have an outage management system that we're fixing to bring online, but really it's more of an outage communication system for our customers. They'll be able to report outages to us via an IVR and also over the customer app. They'll be able to report an outage to us over the IVR as well as the app. They won't get any responses from us at this time. They can't really see what we're doing, but it's gonna help us populate the outage management system. I'll show you how that works. And they'll be interacting. We can give them information about how long the power's been out, if it's been responded to. It's really super cool. So let me get logged in. Okay, I've logged into our outage management system. This is what our system operators will see. And then the second application is just a website. Can you hear me now? Okay. The customers will log into this Outage app through the City of Griffin's website. It's not a separate application, so it'll be as part of the City of Griffin's website. Okay, so the first part of this exercise, I have given y'all some phone numbers to call. If you will, just use your phone on the dais and dial extension 100. Use your speakerphone. And if you will, start with the one that's labeled 1713 Ridge Street, and the phone number there is free.
I'm not sure which, you're not punching.
Hello, and thank you for calling the City of Griffin. To report an outage, press 1 for account information or to make a payment. Press 2 to verify or update the phone number on your account. Press 4.
You're gonna press 1.
To report an electric outage, press 1. For all other service problems, press 2. If you would like to report your outage using your billing telephone number, press 1. To use your account number, press 2. If you do not know any of these numbers, please hold. and
At this point,
representative
if
will
we
be
had your
with
phone number
you.
in the billing system, it would automatically recognize you, so press 1.
I will need the area code and telephone number on your account. Please enter that number now. We show your service location as 1713 Ridge Street. If this is correct, press 1. Thank you. Your outage has been reported. If you have any important information or have seen something that may indicate this outage, press 1 to leave a message with dispatch. Otherwise, rest assured the outage is being repaired. To return to the main menu, press 9.
You can just hang up now. And also, future, this will give a customer an option for a callback. We don't have that set up yet, but that will be there so we can call back when power is restored. Okay, so. And here's the app. It doesn't show that one outage because it's too specific. You really don't want to give an outage address that's out. So I'm gonna go to the app and report an outage via the app. It defaults to electric. I don't have to put in very much for it to make a match. It wants me to put in a phone number. This phone number is stored temporarily on the outage ticket, so if there's a question, we can call them back. Oops. And that's it. That's all I have to do to report it from the app.
So the customers get the app on their phone.
New outage ticket.
App will be embedded in the City of Griffin's website. They don't have to go to the app store to get a separate app. Now you can see that there's an outage here. It doesn't give you a lot of information because it's not. So I'm gonna go, this is what the system operators will do. This is what it looks like to us when we have an outage like this. So we reported an outage on Bridge Street, and the customers reporting it the system has predicted what device is the problem. We do that now in our heads. The system predicted that in just milliseconds. So I'm going to confirm this outage. My guys told me it's going to take 2 hours to fix it. We had the inevitable squirrel. The B and C phases are the customers that are reporting and say that they're out. I'm gonna dispatch a crew to it. So now I'll know, instead of having these little sticky notes and pins on the map everywhere, I'll know exactly who's where at all times. And in my system, this is my voters received. It turns from yellow to red to, it's an actual confirmed outage now. And it takes just a little bit for it to hit the app. It takes longer when you're showing it to somebody.
I can see them, Kim. The last one is in them.
Yeah, it should still be able to see it. I promise y'all, this really does work. I know it takes 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes, I'm gonna see. Ta-da! Okay. Now the customer can see that there is a reported outage. It doesn't give you an exact location for security reasons, but they can see that in this general area that they're concerned about, there are 216 customers out. And if they click on it, it's gonna tell them that the outage was first reported at 9:18 a.m. That was 3 minutes ago. There were 216 affected customers and an estimated restoration time of 11:21. And really, that's all they really want to know, is that we know and how long it's going to be. Of course, some of them want to know what happened, but a lot of them actually want to know what happened. But this is an awesome tool for them. So now, call to a 2012 Tallwood place, call that one.
So I'm at dial 100.
100.
So what do you hit, L1?
This is dial on the top left corner, if you dial 100.
We got it. Which one do you want, Ms. Kim?
2012 Tallwood place.
Hello, and thank you for calling the city of Griffin. To report an outage, press 1. To report an electric outage, press 1. If you would like to report your outage using your billing telephone number, press 1. I will need the area code and telephone number on your account. Please enter that number now. We show your service location as 2012 Tallwood Place. If this is correct, press 1. We are aware of outages in your area. Your service should be restored by Tuesday at 11:21 a.m. Thank you. Your outage has been reported. If you have any important information or have seen something that may indicate the cause of this outage, press 1 to leave a message with dispatch. Otherwise, rest assured the outage is being repaired. To return the menu, press 9.
Awesome, you can hang up now. So if the customer were to leave a message, we get a little icon on here that tells us that there's a voice message there for us, but they, you may see a hold down or something that's really pretty cool. But it also lets them know, you can do the same thing from the app. If I go to the app and do it just says known outage at this location. I can continue if I want to, but it already gives me everything that I was looking for right here, right in my address. I have another example I can show you. It works the same exact way. This works for small outages, big outages. The little tiny ones will not show on that on the app, but I think that's a good thing because you need to give those people individual attention anyway. You don't want them to think that you know something that you don't know. So the bigger the outage, the bigger the circle gets. In a bad situation, summer storms, you might have several little bullet points around here on your app. But if a customer calls in and within an area that we know about on the map, then they're gonna get the same message that you just got. Would you like to see another one? We can go with this. Thank you so much, y'all.
That's excellent.
Thank you.
I couldn't have done this without the cooperation with IT and our GIS department. I mean, it's all come together so well. And this is the biggest thing that's happened to us, probably since Dundee sold the power to us in 1895. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. That was awesome. Any questions?
Moving into the next agenda item, presentation on the current status of wastewater management for the City of Griffin. Director of Watershed Management, Dr. Brant D. Keller, will address. Good afternoon.
Good morning, y'all. Kenny's asked me to be brief, and I will give you, this is a two-phase thing. One, I want to let you know where you've been the last 5 years and what you've done to secure the future for the next 50 years, where when I took over, most of the plants were aged and just about run their course. In 2018, we finished Potato Creek. We upgraded that facility to a 3.0 MGD from a 2.0, $5 million contribution or $4.5 million contribution from IDA, $2 million from capital cost recovery fee, and $12.7 million for a GFA loan. So in the Potato Creek Basin, we are good to go if we land some significant businesses 10 years from now. The footprint has been designed to expand to a 6 and potentially 8 MGD. So that facility is good to go in that particular basin. Cabin Creek, obviously y'all know, was 1934, almost as old as me, and probably worked even worse than I do on some days. We spent $16 million there. Capacity, we did not increase. It is a 1.5. We do meet permit there, and we have capacity in that basin to take approximately 500,000 plus or more. Okay, so you're good in that basin. Shoal Creek, we had to upgrade. Shoal Creek's been a little bit of a stringer when historically it's been moved, rebuilt, what have you. Shoal Creek is it was completed this year. We put a new head end in. We demucked the ponds. We're in good shape to make that place operate. And this coming year, which we have been in the process of planning for over a year and a half, sludge management is a big thing. Biosolids in the state, as well as the United States, of what you do with your sludge. And so what we went into is we went into a dryer complex and presses so that we can manage our destiny, no more farms, and you won't have to worry about children selling 185 acres from underneath you in a 90-day period of time. Your destiny is secured in this community because y'all committed to that. And we have, I guess you say GFASs were like the step poster child or whatever you call that stuff, but they are looking at the city of Griffin right now to replicate this type of activity throughout the state due to some of the biosolids issues that are coming up on the horizon. Excuse me. A couple environmental issues. Was there any questions on those 4 facilities? Okay. Coming up on the horizon, we don't know, but regulation's been promulgated. It's been put on hold by the president for 60 days. Some of the things that you could look at in the future that have some financial impact, or maybe some more financial impact. Lead and copper, we'll be able to address that issue. It'll require some effort on our part to do some research. A couple of things, they call it the forever chemicals. And those chemicals basically are like from Teflon, firefighting foam, what have you. They never go away in the environment. Those regulations are being pushed really heavy on both sides of the House in the Congress. So I'm looking somewhere in the future that what we're going to have to do in order to address those issues, meaning that when they say forever, it's in the environment forever, in the ground, in the water, what have you. Okay, so what you'll have, they'll have to be remediated, and it'll probably be remediated through drinking water, but that's another time, another place down the road. We are potentially looking at things like estrogen and all the other chemicals that we all put in our body, birth control pills and what have you, to go in, because what goes in goes out. So that we're looking potentially at having to do some treatment facility there, but that's not it's in the horizon, but it's not anywhere right now to be addressed. Technology is catching up, and hopefully, that's a quarter, as Penny would say, that we would be able to put those on the footprint of our existing facilities. Biosolids management is a big deal. Griffin is addressing it very aggressively. And I hope once this is completed that we'll not have to go down the road again for an extended period of time on that. So we should be in pretty good shape, unless they require something to do with PFAS and PFOS, those chemicals I was telling you there. Hopefully you'll catch it on drinking water side, but potentially you may have to do something on the wastewater side. But at least we have a dry product to work with, and we can deal with it from that point. So just wanted to give you an upgrade on that. You folks have made a big commitment since, I guess, forever for us. But you have positioned the city to be in a very good position in the wastewater area. With that said, there's always a caveat. As long as I've been here, over the water and wastewater department, we addressed all these issues. One of the issues that I think some people on this commission have received some phone calls about, Shoal Creek has not been expanded. It's been updated in order to deal with existing conditions on site and for sludge remediation. The volume at the plant, because the last 4 years basically has been, the groundwater's up. We've had 4 years of rain. To make a long story short, there is no more capacity at Cabin Creek. So the bottom line is, Shoal Creek, sorry. Excuse me. And we have looked at some preliminary ways to potentially address what is needed. One of the challenges is that we are starting our first joint city water meeting, I think one day this week or next week. It's not in my brain right now. But the city made a conscious effort way back when that we were not going to expand sewer other than what we could take on. Not build another plant, not build collector lines other than in relationship to the existing plants. So when you hear that there's some pressure in order to facilitate growth in the joint wastewater management plan, the key word there is joint. That means city and county, and the county water sewer authority, I assume is going to look at this. It's been on their radar a little bit, but a little far behind on the planning cycle. When you start planning for sewer, you should be 10 years ahead of what's going to happen. As y'all know, permitting conditions at best could take 2 years to push through, designs 2 years. By the time some of the people that are calling you about sewer in Shoal Creek Basin, it's 2-4 years down the road between design and whatever you have to do. Even if you could drop a magic wand, I'd say you would end up somewhere in the magnitude of 5 years out between permitting, design, and construction if that was to take place. I've talked to Kenny and Jessica about this and talked to Brandon. You know, what really needs to happen is the county needs to step up and decide what they're going to do with economic growth in the county. And that's in a nutshell. We've looked, there are 3 opportunities that cost the city a lot of money, which I don't think right now we want to spend the money, but I'm not a policymaker. You have the northern corridor as an issue up in 1941 going to the west. There are no additional collector lines. The existing lift stations are capacity. Could they be upgraded? Yes. Can the lines be upgraded? But then you still got to go where? Shoal Creek. Shoal Creek is permitted for 2.5 MGD. Last year we averaged daily demand over 2. and we had a max of 2.67 out there. So you can see what some of the is cause-effect relationship. Just because I got capacity aligned doesn't mean I still don't have to address what's going on at the plant. Second situation that some of y'all been aware of is the Tri-County area down at Ingalls. People are wanting to build down there left and right, and there's no, it doesn't matter who tells you what in relation to what you got to do. It's going to cost somebody some money to go from point A to point B to make that happen. We've had and explored some opportunities, what that might look like, but it would strictly be up to the county. I had a piece of correspondence that was passed to me, and it said, well, it's the city service area because it's in the joint wastewater plan that we are sole provider of sewer, and then they have 12 designated areas. Just because we have 12 designated areas doesn't mean you need to go on the limb financially for your ratepayers to put sewer in that area. So that's a discussion to be had with Spalding County and start the process, but be mindful, ain't nothing fast about it, the environmental world. Okay, so those are some issues that you'll have to address. The collector line to the south of Griffin, which comes in from basically Meriwether Street in that area and a little bit going towards Old Zebulon Road, and in that area, that line is running full now. There's some opportunities there, but you'd be pipe bursting, and again, that would be an expense to the city. And then your major collector line, we call it a Y. You got the north side that comes down to Ellis Road into Clover Estates, that area. You got the Y coming in that comes behind, underneath 16, and goes behind the back of Clover Estates, and it comes in, and that's why we call it a Y. One comes this way, one comes from the south this way, then you got your collector line. Your collector line is 16,900 feet, and that's another financial concern by itself. Just wanted to keep you abreast. Kenny asked me to be short, and it's about as short as I've been in a long time for y'all. So I guess I'll ask if you have any questions, but I think my recommendation to you folks is that the county needs to sit down to the table and figure what's going to happen if they want economic growth in Spalding County.
Thank you, Dr. Keller. Are there any questions from board members?
Thank you.
The only statement I have is that as people come and ask us about sewer, the cause and effect, if you spend millions of dollars, is how it will affect the existing ratepayers of the city of Griffin. My position always has been to them is that there has to be a neutral to the existing ratepayers. We shouldn't subsidize someone's pocketbook just for the sake of making them a lot of money on the back. So,
and just to give you a magnitude of order, when we built the reservoir, obviously it was $50 million in bonds and debt plus 30 years worth of principal and interest. And now we've upgraded all our wastewater treatment facilities, and we're at the magnitude of $115 million in debt. All right, just to give you the picture, okay? And we have another $7 million, which we weren't expecting, obviously, which is on Head Creek Dam. We have to do the modification, renotification. And I can, in good conscience, recommend you all spending more money than you have to on the system. We're in debt enough when it comes to what we've done as a community. You've taken care of Griffin, somebody's got to take care of Spalding County.
Dr. Keller, I did have a question regarding talking about the Ingalls area. The citizen just asked, is that, when we say we are out, that's for new development or commercial or anything?
That's everything. I mean, we can't take any more. There's some opportunities there. If somebody wants to spend the money to pump it with force main to Potato Creek, there's an opportunity that they could go to Potato Creek up Martin Luther King Boulevard and back down Airport Road, but it ain't as cheap as the presentation that I heard the other day at Spalding County. It's not that cheap. They only had half the facts when we made that statement. But just wanted to make sure that y'all are in the loop, because I know you get questions all the time, and it's easier to address them here than it is on the telephone sometimes.
are the collector lines coming out of Honeybee Creek area, are they at capacity at this time, or is there capacity available for growth into that?
The unfortunate thing is we started getting into this thing. A lot of our lines are 8 inches. When this city was planned, there wasn't design regulations, okay, it's whatever you could put in the ground, just like stormwater. Supposed to put in a 24-inch pipe, or whatever they had on the yard, they put it in there as a 12-inch pipe, okay, that's what we're faced with. And due to the way Griffin is in its small nature, the majority of the system is 8-inch pipe, okay, to answer your question, I don't know without looking at the model, but there ain't a whole lot there because not from a flow standpoint. And you gotta remember too, going down County Line Road, if you were to go that route, it would be a force main. There's not many customers on that road. The payback there would be minimal, okay? You get down to the Running Meat area, East Maddox area over there. I mean, all those people own 25 plus acres in their houses. They're already on septic. You don't have an opportunity, even if the county does it, to get a payback to go that route.
Unless someone ran a force main from the Eagles back up county line, down the county line back.
That's what I'm talking about. A force main, you just don't tap into. If it's gravity, you can. A force main, understand this, it's under pressure. Force main goes to your house and you say you want to tap onto that line, good luck, because when you flush the toilet, it's coming back the other way.
Thank you, sir. Final item is discuss increasing the fees for the Griffin Municipal Golf Course, which were last increased in 2011. Mr. Crystal, congratulations on the successful 2020.
Thank you. We're going to try to keep that rolling. This is really an adjustment of about probably shortly after we adjusted those fees. We used to have something called winter rates, and we were in winter rates, and the economy wasn't doing real well, and we stayed in winter rates basically for extended period of time. Basically, we've been at this price before. These prices here, we've been at $27 a round for weekends. We're just trying to get back where we need to be. And I've got some comparisons. I got them late, and I'll give you some of those at the end of this. But one of the biggest adjustments we're making is just basically we're going to charge full price for carts. We went half price for carts for 9 holes for a number of years. We're just adding that back, which is making up what you can see the main difference. The senior fees, we're still keeping those affordable. And let me explain this, what you're looking at there. The numbers in the red on the right, that's how much we're going up on each one of those. So if you look at senior weekday, 18 holes, we're going up $1.74. 18 holes for senior weekend, we're going up $1.46. So those are very minor changes, and those are just for the cart adjustments. The weekend and weekday for regular golf will be 23 and 27. One of the things we're asking that if we can do, asking permission to do is we had a thing a while back on Mondays. We had some special golf rates, and we were pretty successful with those. So what we're asking is if we could make that a permanent fixture. Traditionally, golf on Mondays is a slow day. Most golf courses are closed on Monday for maintenance. We've always been open, but we would like to just cut the price just a little bit. What we'd end up for everybody would be $18 to play 18 holes. That's with a cart. Normal price would be, of course, 23 and 21 if you're a senior is 21. So we'd just be a little.
Is that year round, you mean, or is it seasonal, or to do the Monday?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Is that seasonal or year round?
No, that would be, right now, we're asking for year round, just a Monday rate, just a flat rate for everybody to play. So it's just a couple dollars off the normal fees. It's been successful. Like I said, Monday's always been just been a slow day for golf. So just trying to do something to keep the business fluid out there. Family and single membership rates, we're going up $50 and $100 respectively. That's a minor change. Those rates have been that way since, I don't know, Brent, how long is that? Forever. We've been at those $300 and $600 memberships. So we're not trying to break the bank. We're just trying to make a few adjustments to keep up with prices that we're having to pay for materials and supplies and such.
With the increased use of members or new members or guests coming out, what type expense increase have you had, if any? Which I guess you would, because you've had more golf cart use and more upkeep, right?
Well, yeah, we haven't, we don't have that many members, if that's what you're asking. We have about, I think, 27 right now. There was a time we had about 150, 160 members out. But we kind of, there were members because it was really, it was too affordable. So we had to adjust those prices and make that right. And I think where we're at with municipal golf courses, we're not really a membership-based golf course. We're a daily play golf course. So we're just trying to fit that niche.
The membership gives them free green fees, but they still pay cart
They
fees.
still pay cart fees. And let me give you some prices from our for around just in general, Morgan Dairy on the weekends is $28, will be $27. Shoal Creek on the weekends is $29, will be $27, and Hickory Hills is $31 on the weekends. So we're still under everybody else. We're just being competitive. We've been a little far, too far away from them for a while.
And that's
So
all weekend rates.
Sir?
And
then like Sun City Peachtree and.
I'm not sure, I don't know, we didn't check that rate. I'm not sure what they are, and I understand they're under new ownership too there. So I'm not sure what they'll be doing there.
In East Lake Country Club, Mr. McCord, how much is that on weekend?
He plays for free, I think.
Are we looking at doing, for like to promote tournaments in large groups? Do we have a cut rate or a special rate that we?
We do, right now currently it's $18, and I'm not asking to do anything with that. We'll just leave that at $18 is what it would be for, if you're having a tournament of 40 or better, we give that set fee for it. And we have our new marketing position starting Monday. Laura Adams will be joining us Monday, and we're hoping to do some big things with her. Hopefully that is successful, and we can keep our rounds. I mean, we'd like to be around 25,000, 24,000 rounds a year. If we could ever get that mark, we'd be at the break-even mark. So that's what our goal is. That's what it's been forever. So hopefully we'll get there.
I get a few calls for junior leagues and kids. Do we still have?
We don't have that, but that's something that John is, the new golf professional, he is wanting to start that, and he's been in some talks with a program called First Tee. So we're looking to get that started up, and Lauren will help with that as well and promote that,
Summer
so.
programs too.
Yes, ma'am.
and everything, okay.
Is it worth having a junior price though, for like a membership?
What
Those kids walk.
we do is traditionally, we just do a senior price, whatever the senior rate is, we just call it junior rate too, but we could probably do that. But what juniors do is they can't rent carts until you're 16, so juniors just pay a walking fee. So that's a cut price for them already.
Well, and that's something that your marketing person can figure out.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And we're gonna try to promote it as much as we can through social media. That's just seems to be the thing to do now. So she's coming from, she was with the Flint River. She worked for Upson County. What's the park up there? Well, on the river. Squirrel Bluff. She designed their website, worked with them for a while. So she's got some experience with that, and hopefully we'll be successful here. Any questions?
Sound good, Mr. McCord? Because you'll be the one that gets a lot of any complaints.
It's great. I mean, golf course is looking good. The changes made with the water.
We're 2 holes down from finishing our irrigation project, so we're almost there with that.
Everything is okay.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Anything else, ladies and ladies? We have a motion to adjourn. This is final for the motion to adjourn.
I guess,
Second by Mrs. Murray. Hope y'all have a great Griffin day. Griffin. Good job.
Your,